Hey guys, this is Paul, and here I have with me 3 Apple accessories that altogether cost over $350, and here are 3 knockoffs that come in at just $32 total. So I'm going to be comparing the Magic Keyboard, Magic Mouse, and AirPods to their cheaper alternatives. If you're interested in any of the products in this video, I'll have all the links in the description below. Starting off with the keyboard, it has pretty much the exact same layout as the real one and is just barely longer and taller. One slight difference is that the function keys on this are blue and you have to actually press the function key to use them. At least that's how it works in my experience on macOS. It has this raised platform in the back for the battery compartment that gives it a bit of a tilt and different feel for when you're typing on it. It takes 2 AAA batteries for power, so there's no built-in power like there is on the real Magic Keyboard. On the back, there's an on-off switch and a Bluetooth connection button. The build quality is definitely the biggest difference between the two. The one from Apple is mostly aluminum. It feels very well built, while this one is made out of cheap plastic that probably won't stand up as well to drops. In a simple flex test, you can really just hear the quality difference between the two. That being said, the typing experience is actually pretty nice. It's a little bit noisier than the real keyboard and the keys have a bit more depth to them, but I wouldn't say it's bad at all. In fact, I would bet that some people might actually prefer this keyboard if they tend to like clickier keys. But one thing I have to mention is that there appears to be a bit of a defect in the space key on my keyboard. And every now and then it will double press and give me 2 spaces when I pressed it only once. I doubt this is a problem on every keyboard, but it's worth mentioning. But other than that, I would consider this keyboard a very solid option at about 1/10 of the price of the real thing. I think the knockoff Magic Mouse is an even better copy of the real one than the fake keyboard is. I mean, from the top, these two are practically identical except for, of course, the Apple logo, and the color is a slightly warmer white on the fake one. But if you flip it over, you'll see it's very different underneath. There's an optical sensor, an on-off switch, and a battery compartment for a single AAA battery. So this one can't be recharged either. Like the knockoff keyboard, this mouse is also entirely made of cheap plastic and doesn't feel nearly as premium as the real Magic Mouse. It's also worth mentioning that this mouse is not Bluetooth compatible. Rather, it uses a 2.4 GHz wireless USB receiver, which is a little less convenient, but I haven't had any connection issues or anything like that. As far as actually using the mouse goes, I'd say it's just okay. Clicking on it is fine. Both left and right clicks are pretty responsive and tactile, but when it comes to actually using the touch controls, it's much choppier than the real Magic Mouse. It's still usable, but just not nearly as enjoyable of an experience. But perhaps the worst part of this mouse is that it doesn't have any of the integrated gestures that makes the real Magic Mouse so appealing. So you won't be able to double tap to zoom, slide left and right on web pages and applications, which is, by the way, super useful for editing, or swipe between full screen apps, or just do any of the cool tricks that you can do on the real Magic Mouse. So if you need a very basic mouse that is just able to click and scroll, then this isn't a bad choice for $10, but it's definitely not a perfect knockoff of the real thing. And lastly, we have the AirPods. Now, I'm gonna come right out and say that these are definitely the worst knockoff of the 3 in this video, but they are the cheapest in relation to the full price of the real product. A real pair of AirPods will run you about $160, and these come in at just under $10, so just keep that in mind. The first thing that you'll notice is that these things are comically huge in comparison to the real ones. I mean, regular AirPods already look a little strange, but I think people have sort of gotten used to them over the years, but these are just on a whole nother level. But silly looks aside, are they actually any good? First off, they're a bit more uncomfortable than the normal AirPods. They don't really fit in my ears quite right. probably because they're just so big. Unlike the real AirPods, they don't charge automatically when you put them in the case. You have to actually press the charge button, and you'll know that they're charging when the LED beneath each one is red, and when they're fully charged, it turns blue. So that's actually a pretty nice system, and you can just charge the case itself with a micro USB cable. Sound quality wise, these are pretty bad, which is to be expected for the price. They're very tinny, almost staticky in the highs with awful, pretty much non-existent lows. Personally, I would not purchase these for listening to music, but if you want to listen to podcasts, maybe watch a couple videos or take phone calls on these, they're probably fine for that. But if you're looking for any sort of quality or accuracy whatsoever, these are not gonna cut it. All in all, I think the knockoffs are pretty impressive for what they cost. Obviously, I would always prefer the real products if I had the choice, but if you are on a really tight budget, I think these knockoffs could make at least a usable substitute. Again, I'll leave links to both the legitimate and the knockoff products in the description below, so if you're interested, make sure to give those a look. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.